Hi guys, happy Friday. Hope y'all had a good week. So today I want to talk about patterns and beliefs. I'm going to be looking down because I have some questions for you. And if you like, you could write these questions down. I will put them in the description so you don't have to worry about trying to write them down right now. But ask yourself these questions. Here we go. So, what is the one pattern in your life that you find comes up for you? Is there any patterns in your life that comes up? For myself, I would have to say challenges. Um, I know we all have challenges, but that's what comes up for me. Different things in my life were very challenging at the time, and things would go good for a long time and I wouldn't have any challenges, and then I would have some, and it was just so, at the time it seemed so heavy, so challenging. Second question, what is the belief behind it? I used to think that because I was a bad kid, I used to do a lot of bad shit when I was a kid. And I used to think in my head that, yeah, anything bad that happens to you, it's because of some wrongdoings or whatever uh, that I felt I did as a child. And so I guess in life, any challenges, somewhere in the back of my head, I was like, you know, well, when you was a kid, you were this or that, or when you were younger, uh, you thought you had challenges, but other people had more challenges, or I don't know. I just thought it was my fault. I know I'm not alone, right? Number 3, what was the belief that created the problem you are recreating? I don't know. Maybe when I was a kid, somebody said I was a bad kid. I don't know. Maybe in school, maybe at home. Maybe it's just the way I felt for a particular reason or another. I was always alone most of the time as a child. Growing up as an only child, I found I was happiest when I was catching butterflies and hunting for rocks and climbing trees and being out in the woods and nature. And because it seemed like when I was around kids, we just didn't get along. And I don't know. So I think that helped fueled a little bit why I felt the way I felt. So number 3, what can you do daily to diminish that pattern? The pattern of, in my case, that I've done something as a child, or I was a bad child, so any challenges that I face now are because of that or the result of that. That was my belief pattern that I have continued to recreate into my adulthood. Must have been something I did. Um, yeah, and it was great. It was great the feeling was so heavy that I carried around. I mean, from childhood, of just thinking things were my fault, things out of my control, like were personally my fault, far into adulthood. You know, how many of us do that, right? It's not healthy. Next question. What can you do to diminish that pattern? You can do things to prove to yourself that that's not true. In my case, as an example, I think by making videos, I think by myself, you know, making videos and not giving up. And even though I had thought that all of my problems and all of my challenges were mainly because I was a bad kid, or I was undeserving or unworthy as a child, and that's why I'm in the predicament I'm in at whatever time in my life. I've proved to myself that that's not true over the years. It might have started later on in life, but I got a good decade or so of real hardcore healing, and I'm still working on it. Still, but it's a constant thing, you know? Challenging. Like, everybody's got challenges, but that's what prompted me to make this video and share my own that I'm going through. Most important question, and this is the final one, is, are you ready to let go so that you can shine? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Because you deserve it. And you know what? You're worthy. You're deserving. You owe yourself to heal. You owe yourself to ask uncomfortable questions to yourself and really sit with it and think about the answers and think about how you feel and why you feel like that. Why do I feel like that? You know? Where did I get that from? You might have to go all the way back to childhood, but once you grasp it, these animals are like ferociously after these nuts I'm throwing them. Sorry, but after all of the totally lost my concentration. That happens. Anywho, I think that everybody should ask themselves these questions, any kind of questions, to get to know yourself better, to get to find out why you do what you do, why you think the way you think. You might find out that it was a belief that you had from a long time ago that wasn't even yours. So, anywho, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate you guys and love y'all so much. I want you to have an awesome day. Be good to yourself. Be kind to yourself. But keep working on yourself. Take care. See you next Friday.